Hello fellow humans and welcome to the STRV K, the Action X of tier 10. Why? Because it's two tanks plonked together and the alpha damage is comically low. Now, let's have a look at the stats of this vehicle, the armor, and then let's play it. The DPM is very high, very similar to that of a 113, however it only has 350 alpha damage, which is really bad compared to the 420 that a 113 has. So this is the lowest alpha damage among any tier 10 heavy tanks. The weapon handling is alright, you have good aim time, that is very much above average. You got pretty good dispersion, however, the dispersion on the move is quite a lot worse than that of a concept or even the chieftain. However, a 113 is a bit worse than that. And the gun depression is 9 degrees, which is not 10, but is still a very, very good value to have. Now, in terms of the movement, this vehicle does have the special speed boost, which means for about 20 seconds, you have the mobility of an E50M. However, other than that, you have mobility that is just about above that of a Concept 1B or a Chieftain Mark 6, which is very nice to have. Now, let's have a look at the armor of this vehicle, because if you have very high DPM, but very low alpha damage, you have to peak quite a lot. And if you want to do that, you need good armor. Otherwise, you end up like the Action X. And the armor on this is disappointing. It's a Centurion 7-1 turret, basically, which means you can pin the entirety of the turret outside of the gun mantlet. And even some places of the gun mantlet can be pinned. So that is very bad here. And yeah, you can just pin the entirety of the side of the turret here on the outside, which is very bad for a tank that is supposedly something like a hull-down heavy tank. And the lower plate is a weak spot like it is on any tank. 250 millimeters at the front, which means some rounds are going to pen, but mostly you're going to need premium rounds to go through here. But the turret is very weak indeed. The sides, 70 millimeters, which means side scraping is not going to really happen that well either. So overall, the armor on this thing is nowhere near that of a Super Conqueror or a Concept 1B. It's more of a Chieftain, but even worse. And now let's do a very quick shop review and also the giveaway. These can be pretty helpful to advance your campaign. However, only buy them if you actually already have a lot of tier 10s. I would never recommend this if you're a new player. We already talked about the E75 TS and the M41 last week. However, can be a worthy pickup there. The Progetto, it will be gone by the time this video goes live, but generally a bundle like this is solid. And then this thing is an absolute joke, and it still is, and it always will be. Every tier rate that is above 10k is never worth it, and these are funny, and that's about it. So that's unfortunate. Britannia Panther, it's a tier 6 for 3.5k. These are available for all tanks, so that can be very useful, but overall, I really wouldn't pay this much for this combo. Then we have these two, a good tank in the 112-2, and a pile of that in the T-34-3, which is absolutely horrible. Now, I would love for the 112-2 to be 6.5k. At that point, I would definitely recommend it. However, I think 7.5k is a bit much for this tank. So you have to decide for yourself. And also, obviously, with the auction coming up, whatever is going to be in there, I will make auction reviews, so don't worry about that. Now, this thing is bad. Don't buy it. Not worth it. This thing is hilariously overpriced. None. Like, they're too lazy to even add a description. It just says none. This is a joke. I mean, it has an incredibly high correct coefficient, but it is an absolute and utter joke, this tank. So is the Ram 2. So are the camouflages, which you should never ever buy. That is a ripoff. Do not buy any of these camos unless you really don't like having money. So, anyway, now we get to the giveaway portion. It is the same as the last couple of weeks. You can win this Rapid Takeoff bundle right here. What you have to do for that is join my Discord server, link in my description. And then write a comment with what is the worst tank you've ever played, and your in-game name and your server. The winner will be drawn roughly on Tuesday. So, if you're a winner, I'll write you, I will announce it on Discord, and I will send you a friend request if you're not in my friends list already. If you're not in my friends list, I will not be able to gift you anything, which means you're going to have to accept that friend request. If you don't accept the friend request, you can't get anything. So, with that said, good luck. Obviously, I don't exactly know right now the exact specifics of the event, but I can already tell you, if you have to pay anything more than you would have to pay for a Chieftain, then it is never gonna be worth it. And a chieftain was sold for 17.5k gold. So that is the level for this tank. If it's anywhere, even 18k, then it is not going to be worth it under any circumstance. Now, what are the advantages of this tank? Well, it has 3.4k DPM, which a 113 also has, and a 113 has 420 alpha damage, and this vehicle only has 350. Then, it does have above average mobility for a heavy tank, average speed of 33. However, you need a advanced speed boost to make this thing really count. Again, it is a Kronwagen hull, so it's not going to provide you with that big amount of armor. Then it is a Centurion, basically it's a Centurion 7-1 turret and a gun as well, mounted on a tier 10, which doesn't really make any sense, but anyway, you can pen the sides of the turret. However, it does have 9 degrees of gun depression, which means if you keep it wiggled back and forth, and you can make sure that the enemy can't actually hit those parts, you'll be somewhat impenetrable when you're held down. However, obviously, you're going to have to be very, very aware that your turret can still be penned in a lot of cases. It's not as bad as an AMX-30B, but it can still be penned just like that. And I do feel like this is a very weirdly balanced vehicle. Like, it is balanced. It's not like any new super OP tank that you have to have. To the contrary, in fact, it's going to be a tank that is somewhat difficult to play, and I cannot recommend to anyone that, because here's the thing, tier 10s aren't made for credits, tier 10s are made for fun. And I don't know. I would rather take a medium tank that has the same alpha damage, like an E50M that has the same armor, that has the same DPM, but that has way better mobility. So, yeah. Personally not a fan of this tank, so I can already tell you that much. However, obviously, opinions can differ, and it can be an alright tank. Now, if this were a tech tree tank, it'd be fine, right? There would be nothing to complain about there. It would just be a solid, balanced tier 10. However, paying for that is a completely different story. And obviously, no tank is worth hundreds of euros, and to those people that do pay hundreds of euros, they're quite simply either irresponsible with their money or insane. So, if it were available for hundreds of euros, then it is not going to be worth it either. A Smasher isn't worth anything close to 100 euros. So, but obviously, as long as people keep buying it, Wargaming is going to sell. Because they don't care, as long as they make money. So, with a tank like this, it will not be a good purchase at any price. It can be an alright purchase if you really want the vehicle, if you want to really experience it. If it were for like 15k, 17k gold, then I'd be like, sure, make your own decision. I'm not going to talk you out of it. However, if it's anywhere above that, then there is absolutely no reason to ever pick this up under any circumstances. Given that, you can get Chieftain Super Conqueror for 17.5k, 20k for way better prices and tanks that are more reliable, easier to play. Now, yes, it does have 9 degrees of gun depression. However, here's the thing. It doesn't matter. It can be double as good as a Chieftain, which obviously it's not. It's not better. It's about 5% worse than a Chieftain. So, it could be double the performance. But if it's quadruple the price, it's still not worth it. Right? And it's not double the performance, it's the same performance. So, have a look at the price. What does it cost? Does it cost more than Chieftain? Don't buy it. That's the very easy answer to this video. Does it cost more than a tank of its same performance? Then it's not worth it. And no, it being new does not have any value whatsoever. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. Check out the next one, and see you. Goodbye.